What's up, guys? So, I've been getting a lot of messages involving setting up with the Ocarina Time Randomizer tutorial that I posted about five months ago now? But it's severely outdated. I've told them that I need to update it, and this is what this video is meant to do. There's so many ways to set up the randomizer now. 3 major setups right now, which is actually about to go down to 2. But I'm going to cover all 3 of them here. First things first, let's cover the things you're going to need to have for this regardless. First off, Retroarch. This is the preferred emulator for the Ocarina of Time randomizer. However, there is a setup that uses multi-world now. I'm not going to go into details of multi-world here, but it uses NetPlay and is currently only supported on the BizHawk emulator. If you want more info on the multi-world for this, best thing you can do is go to the Ocarina of Time Randomizer Discord that's in the description below. Also, links to everything used here is in the description below to make things easier for everyone. But first, you're going to download Retroarch for whichever system. In my case, Windows 10 64-bit. I already have it installed, so I'm going to skip this part. But install the emulator wherever you need it to go. It supports literally everything. It's even coming for Xbox One of all things. I can't say much. Switch already has support with. I mean, you can use Retroarch. If you can use Retroarch on it, you can play Ocarina of Time Randomizer. It's that simple. Heck, you can play it on your phone now. Okay. But yeah, you're gonna download this. Once you have that installed, there's a few settings in Retroarch we gotta mess with, but we're gonna do that once we have the ROM ready to load. Next up, you're going to need your tracker. I still use the Hero of Time tracker just like last time. I prefer this tracker. It's just the best looking one in my opinion. And it just functions the way you need it to. So you're going to download it, you're going to install it. You can go down and install if you want to do like a portable setup. But generally I just install it, why not? Next up is now getting the ROM. You need to use the original 1.0 ROM. The link to that is in the description below. I can't really talk about and show how to get it on the video. Nintendo won't like me for that, of course. So just use the link in the description, it'll lead you to the ROM. Now getting the randomizer. There's 3 ways to do this now. The first way is of course randomizer version 3.0. However, 3.0 is going to be obsolete within the next 2 weeks of recording this video, because now 4.0 is about to release, and 4.0 will not be an installer like this is. But I want to mention it anyway for those who do catch this until 4.0 come out. You're going to download your version, and you're going to save it to your desktop, and extract it. I've already extracted it, so that's there. We'll get to that in a bit. The next way is the dev install. This is the most current version as of right now. You're going to hit clone or download. You're going to hit download zip. That's going to install this zip right here, and I've already got it extracted for us to go through also. Now, if you're using the dev build, it is not a random executable. To use the dev build, you have to have Python installed. So come to Python, download it, and install it. We've got that installer on my desktop ready to go. You're going to... You can usually just install now, but let me confirm that. First off, you need to add Python to path. That is required. Yep, make sure all of this is checked. Hit next. Defaults are good. We're going to let this install. While it's installing, we're going to cover the last method. That is the web generator. The randomizer now has its own website to use the web generator. and it lets you do everything online. It lets you set your options. You'll go through each of these. Now, there are a few things to note. And that's right here. First off, you need to have your browser needs to be updated. Also, sorry Mac users, Safari is not supported right now. Mobile devices could do this, but the memory requirements can cause a generation to break. Because you need at least a dual-core processor and at least 2 gigs of RAM, preferably more, to do it with the web patcher. This is going to be the way you get 4.0 as well when 4.0 releases. Also, right now the web generator only applies to 3.0, not the dev build. This will apply the same for 4.0, and then the dev build will be separate, kind of like how it is now. And you'll generate all that. Also, I'm not sure if you need the original ROM with the web patcher. I'm not entirely sure. Alright, Python's installed. You don't need to worry about that. I'm gonna close that. Now, let's get into actually working with the randomizer, shall we? We're going to do the dev build. The windows for the dev build and 3.0 are exactly the same, except with 3.0, you're going to launch it with the executable. With the dev build, you're going to launch this, the GUI Python file. You're just going to double click it. A console will come up, leave it alone. And here's the randomizer patcher. They have presets for the weekly and tournament qualifiers. Which, yeah, there's a tournament coming up for the randomizer. Their Discord covers all of this. It's simpler than the 2.0 to where you make sure it outputs stable. You don't have to deal with extra settings. You can also output a patch file for other players instead of having if you're all doing a race with the same seeds, same settings. You can just send them a patch file. It makes it easier to patch. You can also patch from a patch file, and you don't have to skip all of this. Base ROM. You're going to browse and go to wherever your 1.0 is. I put one on the desktop here, but I'm not going to use that one. My desktop's really cluttered right now. But you're going to load the base ROM. Output directory, I always set it as the output folder within the same folder. As you can see what happened back here, now there's an output folder. It'll output here when it's done. Tells you how many seeds to generate. Also, let's go back to this. Like I said, multi-world, you'll need BizHawk for it. This comes with a tutorial to how to do it with BizHawk. I'm not going to go over multi-world today. All the main rules. Like I said, we've got the presets for typical. Like the weeklies, that's what all the weeklies typically use. Shows everything that's marked. You can go through each of these and see what settings you like, which settings you won't. Detailed logic, you can exclude locations. Like specific checks, you can go through and turn certain checks off. This is great if there's a check you either have trouble doing or you feel it's too long to do. Enable tricks. There's so many different tricks you can do now that you can pick which ones would be included in the randomizing. If you do these without it, then that just means they're out of logic. That's cool. Not a big deal. We usually keep these unchecked, but some of them, why not? Like the weeklies use the fewer tunic requirements tricks. You can set where the trade sequence starts. Lens, we usually don't touch that. Other random skips. How the item pool is. And then cosmetics, just change how Link looks, your Soul Trail, how Navi looks. Then sound effects, you can change all the sound effects. You can set random background music now. I mean, it's kind of daunting when you walk into the Goma fight and it's playing the final battle with Ganon's music. But yeah, when all of that's done, you're going to hit generate. It's going to generate the ROM. Depending on the specs of your computer, this could take a little while. And you see it being created here. When it's done, there will be 3 files. However, only one of these are really important. This is the ROM itself. This is the spoiler log that has all of the details on the CD. It tells you where everything is in case you really get stuck. And the cosmetics, it just lets you know what cosmetic things are which. That doesn't really matter. So, now that we've generated the ROM, let's get into Retroarch. So we'll close the randomizer. I'm going to move this next up. We're going to open up Retroarch. Let me up the window size so y'all can see what's going on here. That's another big thing with Retroarch. Make sure your window scale is 1 when you open the ROM, else you're going to have a giant chunk of window that's not going to fit on your screen. Fair warning. Whoops, that's not what I want to do. Let's connect my controller. Also, let's go ahead and open our tracker. Tracker's up, ready to go. You're first going to need to download a core. So load core. You're going to download core. You're going to scroll all the way down until you have one of these cores. Parallel, I feel, is the most stable core. However, use Mupen 64 Plus if you want to use texture packs. As you see when I load when I load my ROM in a moment, my Ocarina of Time has a texture pack put in, and you'll see that. Then, once you have that done, you need to go to your settings and go down to User Interface, and you're going to want to turn this off. Turn both of these off, honestly, because when you're going to be clicking out of the window a lot to mark on your tracker. And it pauses the game when doing that. That's not good. So turn these off. That's the biggest thing right there. I'm not gonna talk about how to set up texture packs. That's another whole video. Next up, you're gonna load your content. And then you're just gonna follow the path to your content. For me to do this, I'm gonna go back to window scale 1, so it doesn't like blow up on me afterwards. Whoops, not GBA ROMs I want. Let me find a... I don't know, we'll use the weekly ROM that I just did. I'm gonna open this with Mupen, so you're gonna see my texture pack load with this. Oh, if I actually click it. There we go, now it's open. It's gonna look different than typical Ocarina of Time because I have the texture pack. Keep that in mind. Oh, right, let's turn my desktop audio on so y'all can actually hear this. Yeah, it's up. Let me just create a random file. We're just gonna call it test. And you start with a random medallion or stone because you don't receive the light medallion for switching to Adult Link. So you always start with one of the medallions. Forest Medallion, in my opinion, is the best medallion to start with because it gets you a free song check as soon as you switch to Adult Link. You'll load the game. As you can see, everything appears to be running good. I don't know why that room isn't updated with the textures. As you see, updated texture pack, all that good stuff. But like, let's show an example of the items being randomized. If I remember correctly, this test seed actually had a bad starting set of items. You open this. Uh-oh. 5 rupees. You're gonna see that a lot, by the way. Those really suck. Hey look, piece of heart. If I remember correctly, this is even more blue rupees. Yep. But yeah, all the chests, everything is randomized to how you get it. But if you notice, certain skips are in place where you can move around. You're able to leave the forest immediately, you're able to go straight to Deku Tree, all that good stuff. And as you get items, you can mark them on the tracker. But that's all I'm going to cover here. I hope y'all find this useful, and I will catch y'all next time.